Good morning, everyone. Hope all is well. Hope everyone's doing all right. We have one person still trying to connect audio, so let's give them 1 second and let's see if we can get them in there before we go ahead and get started. All right, looks like they're gonna get connected soon, so we'll just go ahead and get rolling. Um, Once again, good morning. I appreciate you guys tuning in and being patient with my situation. I know we're supposed to meet in person, and that we will do that normally. Just that I had a situation this morning. I appreciate you guys working with me on that. Um, but everything that we're going to do will still be done in the same way as if it was a normal class session. And always remember that I will try to always make this an option so that I can record the session and then be able to post it to you guys. So if you ever were to miss class, then you will have that available to you. So Zoom will always be an option, even though we will be meeting in class for those who desire to be in class. All right, so let's go to, I sent you guys 4 emails, introductory emails. Whenever I send you a class email, this of course is not for individual situations, but whenever I send class emails, they will be archived in your Canvas announcements. So let me show you that. Uh, right. And so right here, Canvas announcements. These are the emails that I've sent to you guys already today, up to date. And so, there was a greetings email. And of course, you guys got the Zoom email. And so let's start right here with MathLab access. So before we go into, before we leave today, I will go into MathLab and show you guys how it looks if you have never dealt with MathLab before. But that will be our computer component that we will use in order to get all of our assignments, all of our tests, anything that we hold you guys accountable for. Any assessment will be done through MathLab. So all of your testing, it will be proctored, but it will not be done on paper. It will be done through MathLab. All your homework assignments, MathLab as well. And so you would just go mymathlab.com, click on the register now button. As a matter of fact, I'll do that right now. Let me log out of here. So hit my MathLab. And so you will register now and register now as a student. Just hit OK. Type in that course ID that I put in there. Tucker, we got 64542. So Tucker is in front, it is a part of it, but 64542. All right, so you notice it says your course is right here. And if you already have a Pearson account, you can go ahead and type in that information right here. If you want to create an account, there you go. And then you will put in all your personal information. So now once you've done that, come on out of the way. Let me do it like this. Once you put in your information, these 3 options will come up. Input the access code. And so if you purchase access through like an outside source, like in other words, TCC's bookstore, our bookstore, if you purchase access through our bookstore, you will get a 16-digit access code. If you purchased it from your friend, purchased it from Amazon, if you got it from anywhere other than Pearson itself, they will give you a 16-digit access code. And that's when you would type that in. If you don't have a 16-digit access code, but you want to purchase access through Pearson, then you can just purchase access. They won't give you a code, they'll just give you access. And then, okay, someone said they can't hear. Can anybody else hear? All I need is one person to say yes. Can anybody else hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great, great. Appreciate it. I just want to make sure it wasn't me. Thank you, thank you. So then you have the 14-day free pass. You can click on that and that'll give you 14 days free from the moment that you clicked on that button. So any questions with registration? Any questions with registration? Let me respond to your classmate real quick because he couldn't hear me, so I want to make sure. All right, just want to send it out there. Okay, so good on registration. So let me know, try it out. Let me know if you have any issues with that. I have one person already in, so I know one person is good on it. So let me know if you have any issues with getting in there. I also sent you this math lab specifics. Okay, not a problem, not a problem. All right, so here, math lab specifics, just want to make sure we're okay with how we will be using math lab, different details on that. So cannot pass the course without access to Pearson's math lab. So it's impossible because that's where all of your assignments are done. That's where all your testing are done, will be done through, and that's through Pearson's math lab. All of your assignments and tests, I just mentioned that. You must participate or show activity in math lab weekly. So that's how I will gauge your attendance. So there may be times where you may not be able to make class, but like I mentioned, I'm going to record the sessions and shoot them to you. I'm actually hopefully before the week is out, I'm going to go and get all of my pre-recorded sessions and send them to you as well, so that if you wanted to move ahead, you can, because the way the course is set up, you do have the option of moving ahead without me and without the class, because you can take your test through the math lab. You don't have to go to campus, but we have a math lab on campus where we have somebody that can actually facilitate your testing. So they can either do it through Zoom or you can go in and do it. But either way, you have that option. So that means you can actually move ahead and get done quicker than the actual pace of the class, if that's your desire. So we'll talk about more about that in a second. But attendance, as far as attendance is concerned, there's no way for me to gauge fully attendance if I'm recording the sessions and sending it to you, because you actually can go and review the sessions later on your own time. So the way I will be taking attendance is through Math Lab. Whenever you go to Math Lab, you do an assignment, you do anything, you log on, or you go into one of your homework assignments. There's activity and it's recorded. So if nothing else, just go into a homework assignment, come out, save it, something like that. And that will let me know that you were in there. So just put a timestamp on your activity. So I will be looking at your attendance through Math Lab. If you have any attendance issues or issues with Math Lab, make sure you communicate anything with me so we can make sure that you're good to go and that's recorded that you're having issues. So any type of accommodations need to be made, they can be done. Excuse me. Sorry, would have hit mute if I knew it was coming. Sorry about that. You have unlimited amount of attempts to get the best grade possible on your homework. On your homework assignments, looking for 75 to 84.9 to get 90%, 85 to 100 to get 100%. So notice I didn't mention anything less than 75. That's because you have unlimited amount of tries, to get that. When it comes to unlimited amount of tries, there's no such thing as unlimited amount of problems. So truth be told, you will, if you really keep clicking on something, eventually the problem that you tried and got the answer to will pop back up again. So I know there's that. So if you didn't get a 75, it's because you really wasn't worried about getting a 75. So 75 is the marker. And then 85 to 100 will give you 100%. Test reviews are not mandatory, but if you score 85 or higher, I can give you extra credit. You have now this class, I should have changed it because you guys have more than 2 attempts actually. Now you don't want to do 2 attempts if you don't have to. Of course you want to score it on the first time, but you don't want to do more than 2 attempts. You don't have to because now you're taking up your time. But really you have unlimited amount of options, unlimited amount of times to get the best grade possible on your test. You guys, because this is a pass or fail class, you want to score at least 75% on your tests. On each one of your tests, you want to score at least 75%. And then on your final exam, it should be 70. I'm going to send that to you. That should have been in this one. This was for, evidently I got this mixed up with my other class, but I meant to put that at the bottom of this. And what I'll do is I'll send it to you to make sure that we're clear on that, because this is a Math MD 60, so it's a little different than our regular credited courses. There's a standard for your sessions. So for your homework, yeah, I'll leave that at 75, but your tests have to be 75. And then your final exam has to be scored at a 70. And so I'll write myself a note to make sure I send that to you guys. Okay. So any questions on that? Homework is fine. I'll leave that the way it is. I think normally homework is 80 or 85, but since I already put this in the email, it's not a big deal. So you at least need to get that 75 on your homework, but your tests have to be 75. Final exam has to be 70. Hello. Somebody say hello in the chat. All right. So any questions on that? Any questions on that? I'm not sure. You guys should have, I know somebody unmuted themselves before. You should have the ability to unmute yourself. Not sure about that. All right. But yeah, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. All right. So any questions on specifics? Hello?
Sorry, I have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
I just noticed that, are you in Portsmouth or out the beach?
I'm Portsmouth.
Okay, I guess I got it mixed up because I'm at the beach and it said Portsmouth, so I may not be able, I can't get to Portsmouth every other day.
Okay, that's not a problem. So like I was mentioning, I will always have the Zoom option.
Oh, thank God. So I can still stay in this class and do
Yes.
Zoom?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. Because I'm in this, you don't need, I'll talk to you at the end of class.
Okay, cool.
I appreciate that. I'm going back to muting myself.
Okay, not a problem. All right, so for those tests that require proctoring, are we going to have to take them on campus? All right, cool, mate. Cool, Michael. I'm glad you were able to get back in there. So Connor, for the tests that require proctor, we're going to have to take them on campus. No, you will be able to be proctored through Zoom. So we have a math lab on campus with Mr. Johnny Davis, wherein they can proctor you through Zoom. And then, so that's if you move ahead. I can also proctor you through Zoom as well. So no, you don't necessarily have to. So everything can be done virtually, and we can operate that way. Yep. And it's only like 5 or 6 of us in class. I will send an email out to you guys also to see. Yep, not a problem. To see your preferences, because if we only have 5 people, and if everybody agreed that Zoom is okay, I'm just show you how I teach and everything like that. So if everybody's okay with Zoom being okay, then we can just Zoom it. So we'll see. I'll send an email out. But if one person says that they want to do in face-to-face, then we would just do the face-to-face. I mean, but once again, if your preference is Zoom and I'm still doing face-to-face, you're still good with staying home. Like, I just finished mentioning to your classmate. I don't have a problem with that at all, because I'm going to Zoom anyway, just so I can record the sessions and then be able to send them out to you guys. So, all right. So with that being said, let's go ahead to how I will be writing. So where's my pen? So this is how I will be, doing our lectures, trying to get to a spot of writing. It'll be real time writing and talking and recording. You know what I mean? So and that's just me writing sloppy. I kind of try. I'm getting better with my writing, so it's not that sloppy. But either way, this will be the same board. So if we were in class, I will hook this computer up to the screen, and then you will see the same screen. So everything's going to be the same experience. So it's just up to you. I know some people last semester said that they just, it was just better for them to come to class. I mean, this is an in-person class that you signed up for. So like I said, when I send that email out, if one person says that they want to do face-to-face, I have no problem with it. I'm just saying that, I was on Twitter today before I came to class, and some state had gas prices at 7.25. So I'm just saying, if you want to save more gas, then I'm here for you. So
That's ridiculous.
yeah, 7.25 is kind of tough. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah. It's a nice way of being robbed for sure. So once again, and then like I said, I'm gonna send you the pre-recorded sessions from my last semester. And then if you want to just move ahead, feel free. I'm gonna have office hours as well. Haven't sent those out to you guys, but I will. Now, all of my office hours are through Zoom just to be able to accommodate everybody. But it's through this format when I'll just go to a review page and just write whatever you guys, bring to the table and everything. So let's see. Any questions on anything I've said up to this point? Everybody good? Let me see, just trying to make sure, do my checklist. Okay, let's go to Math Lab. I didn't mean to do that. All right, so you guys will go into your session in D60. You can hit your assignments. Oh, also, hold on, why is the syllabus not in here? Okay, so I'll attach the syllabus. The syllabus will be right here. It's just, regular stuff, the sections we're going to cover and all the stuff like that, class happenings or whatever. So normal stuff that would be in the syllabus, nothing different, nothing major that we need to point out. But that whole thing about, your test being at 75%, final exam being at 70%, that would be in there as well. But like I said, I'm gonna send you an email to remind you of that. But it's normally right here. For some reason, it didn't copy over when I copied my shell. Anyway, so here are all your assignments. We're gonna start here. That will be our first block test. Now this review, this is not mandatory. This is a review quiz. This test review is not mandatory as well. And I think I didn't finish talking about that. Let's see if I can slide in there. Okay, I go back here, math lab specifics. Yeah, I did mention that test reviews are not mandatory, but that's the test review thing I was talking about right here. Now the test review is very similar, if not exactly like the test. So you don't have to do it, but it would be to your benefit to at least get in there and try it out, check it out, see what type of problems will be on your test. And then your test is right here. So all of them are set up this way. You have your block of sections, homework sections that you're trying to get 75 or better on.
Do we
Then
have
you
a
have,
week? Do we have a week to finish those?
oh, I'm gonna give you, we're gonna talk about due dates in a second.
Oh, okay. I'll shut up.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah.
Oh, you're fine. So you have a block of homework sections. Somebody said something in the chat. Do the test reviews have multiple attempts? Yeah, test reviews are unlimited. Test reviews are unlimited, so you can get whatever practice you want to get on them. I'm about to go into an assignment in a second, show you how that works. But it's an unlimited amount of tries. Yep. Yep. Not a problem. Not a problem. So your homeworks, anything that has a homework is set up with, that's the blue circle, set up with unlimited amount of tries. So that's that. Like I said, this study plan is optional. You don't have to do it. The quiz is optional. You don't really have to do that as well. But once again, just another way to get practice in. It's up to you if you want to do that. Tests and homeworks are the things that are mandatory. And you see all of them are set up that same way. You block of homework, study plan, quiz review, test test. And so what's happening here is that in my class, there's a test review. Now this class here is set up generically across all, I don't say all campuses, at least Portsmouth anyway. And most classes, for the most part, from to my understanding, don't have a test review. I created that part, so that's just something exclusive to my class. This is really what would be your test review in other classes. So that's why you say, well, all these test reviews and quiz reviews and all that stuff. That's why, because these three things are not necessarily in all classes. I made this because I was just like, well, it can't hurt to see what type of problems will be on the test. So that's why I put that there. But all of the sections, chapter 12, and then you see test review and then you test. So all of them are set up the same way. Um, so these tests though, the initial setup, like I said, it should be 0, 2. Anyway, for these tests, really the initial setup is supposed to be you get 2 shots without having to ask me. So I need to go in there and adjust that. And then once let's say if you take it twice, don't score it at 75 or better, then you have to come to me and ask. And then before I give you the next shot, we have to make sure that we're good going forward. In other words, are there any questions? Are there any concerns? What problems you want to make sure you're good on before you go taking it again. Because, we don't want you to have to take it the 4th time, the 5th time, the 6th time. But that is there for you to do. It's just that we don't want you to have to do it, because the more times you're taking the first test, that's the least amount of times you have to take the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th test. You know what I mean? So now, if I'm not mistaken, this doesn't have a final exam. Right. So this class doesn't have a final exam. It's just that you just have to knock out each one of your tests at 75% or better. So scratch that final. We used to do a final exam in this class, but the way it's set up now, you just have to score 75% or better on these tests. All right. Questions on that? I forgot we switched up the format. So once again, there is no final exam. It's just that you have to score 75% or better on each one of your tests.
Sorry to interrupt, but
Okay.
could you work ahead? Say, if I have extra time, I want to go ahead. Can I do that?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to send pre-recorded lectures from last session.
Okay.
If you wanted to look at those, but that will help you in progressing forward. But yes, if you don't want to look at them, it's cool. If you just
that's helpful. That's very helpful.
Yeah. So that most definitely is available to you. So getting to your question earlier about due dates. So notice all of your due dates says 8/5, and that is the date that we have in SIS. Yes, August 5th. That's our last date in SIS. And so I gave you all the time I could for all of your assignments. Let me see, August 5th is a Friday. I may be able to give you that weekend. I got to check to see when the grades have to
fast.
Be.
It does come fast though.
Most definitely. So don't look at that August 5th as if that's a date all the way out in the wilderness somewhere. It, like she said, it will hit you quick. So make sure you stay on top of this stuff. It is in your best interest to move ahead if you can, and to progressively be doing work, if not daily, weekly at least, because you do want to be knocking this stuff out. I'm giving you leeway to move according to your own pace, but your pace can't be so slow that August 5th get here and you haven't gotten your work done. But it does leave room for life to happen, and you don't necessarily have to ask me for an extension. All right. Questions on that? Questions on that? Everybody good? Everybody straight? Okay. So I think I'm good. I'm trying to think and see if there's anything else. All right. So as far as lectures go, normally I just move at the pace that we move at. And if you want to take your test, you take them through Mr. Davis initially until we get done. And like I said, when you take it through him, and as a matter of fact, let me make sure the math lab is available. I'll just tell you what we normally do. I haven't had a chance to talk with him today, talk with him yet. It's the first day of class. I'm going to check with him to make sure. Normally what I do is that, you take those sessions, take your test whenever you have free time and whenever you're ready after you've done your homework, and you can go through Mr. Davis. And then once we're done with the lectures, then we take class time, and then we'll just knock out tests and stuff like that. So let me check with Mr. Davis and see his availability and make sure that that is still a go. But that's what we normally do with this MDE session, is that, you know, you take your test through the math lab, you know, during your own time. You just schedule it with him, and then he'll make himself available, you know, according to what they have, him or one of his staff members. And then you would just knock out the test on your own time. And then we reserve class time to do lectures, answer questions, and all the stuff like that. All right. Trying to make sure there isn't anything else. Any questions? Any questions, concerns, comments? Everybody good? Okay, so this class normally goes to 11:20, so we got plenty of time. So since it is a summer session, what we will do is we will go ahead and at least do 3-3 today. And make sure we are good. So you notice how this is set up. You got 3-3, 4-8, 5-6, 9-5, and 9-6, which would be the first block on your homework. Also, if you remember, well, you read the email that I sent, is that you're not required to purchase the book. But that's because we have the e-text right here, which have all the chapters. You know, so yeah. So if you ever want to actually look at the book, you do have the book at your availability right here. All right. So before we get into the lecture for today, anybody have any questions? All right. So like I said, let's at least do one section today. And then from there, you know, you guys most definitely, what your assignment is going to be is to at least get into Math Lab and see if you have any problems with registering, any problems with getting set up and everything like that. So that
Is that a L for Mr. J Davis? His email, is that a JL?
yes.
Okay, just checking.
Yep. That's jldavis@tcc.edu.
Okay, thank you again.
Sorry about that. Hold on, let me get my water real quick. Sorry about that. Well, I don't know what happened there. All right, so solving linear equations. So an equation is just a statement that says that two algebraic expressions are equal. 1 second. So an example of that is x plus 5 equal to 8. Once again, it's just a statement that says that two algebraic expressions are equal. And as always, when I'm going through any notes or anything like that, if I move ahead too fast or anything like that, feel free to let me know. You type it in the chat or unmute. So, you know, just try to make sure that everybody's available, able to copy this stuff accordingly. So a solution is going to be values that will make your equation true. So an example of that is x equal to 3. And so if I were to plug in 3 right here, 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. So that is true. So basically, your statement or the question that you want to ask yourself when you're looking at an equation, if you're trying to solve it, is when is that statement true, or when is x plus 5 equal to 8? And that is when x is equal to 3 for this one anyway. All right. So in order to solve, we will be doing what I call opposite operations. They're operations that undo what the other one does. So when it comes to addition and subtraction, they are considered opposite of each other or opposite operations. Same thing with multiplication and division. They undo what the other one does. All right. So how do we use it? And some of you may already know this, but we're just making sure that we're clear on how we're going to go about solving the foundation of what we're going to do. If I have x plus 5 equal 8, go back to what we just finished looking at. Our equation is split up into two parts based upon our equal sign. Yep, we need to do that. So left side our equal sign, right side of our equal sign. Okay. And whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Now your goal is to get x by itself. So if you're trying to do that, then you need to undo what's being done to x. So if I have x plus 5, then I need to do minus 5 to undo the addition of 5. And then whatever you do to one side of your equation, you have to do to the other. 5 and negative 5 cancel out on the left, leaving you with x. And then 8 minus 5 on the right is 3. And that's your foundation of solving equations. All right, questions on that before we go a little further? All right. A few more one-step equations. If I have y minus 10 equal to 15, and I wanted to solve this equation for y, I would add 10 to both sides. The 10s cancel out on the left side of my equal sign. Then on the right side, 15 plus 10 is 25. So y would be equal to 25. And I didn't mention this before, but you always can plug this back into your original equation to check to make sure that it is true. So 25 minus 10 would be 15. If I have 5a equal to 13, 5a is the same thing as 5 times a. So the undoing of the multiplication of 5 would be dividing by 5. So you multiply both sides by 5. 5 cancels on the left, leaving you with just a. 13 over 5 would be what would be on the right. Yeah. And so here, notice the message I said you do not have to turn that into a mixed number or a decimal. It's okay to leave it as an improper fraction. What you are expected to do is reduce. So make sure that you don't confuse reducing a fraction and converting it to a decimal or mixed number to be the same thing. So reducing the fraction is an example of that right here. If I have 4 over 6, I can reduce that by 2. That means there's a 2 that's in common with both top and bottom. They can cancel out, leaving with 2/3. So this is what you are expected to do. If it cannot be reduced, you can leave it in this form. Any questions? Any questions? So over here, just emphasizing the fact that if you don't see a number in front of your variable, they assume you know there's a 1 in front of it. So if there's a, they assume you know that's 1a. Same thing with x, that's 1x. And then here, just adding. So if I had 2x plus x, you know, that would be 3x because it's 2x plus 1x. So that's all this was right here. All right, last one step equation. We have x divided by 9 equal to 11. So we would solve by multiplying both sides by 9, and x would be equal to 99. All right, any questions? Or we add a little more to it? Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with my throat today. All right, so we have 2x plus 1 equal to 17. And so notice we have more than one operation going on. In this case, now we have 2 times x plus 1. So your goal, once again, is to get x by itself. So we need to move the 2 and move the 1 off of x. And we need to do this by doing the opposite operations. Now, notice I started off with moving the 1 first. And that's the best practice, to move the number that's furthest away from your variable. That's the way I kind of look at it. So, but if you wanted to move the 2 first, you could, but just remember you have to divide. And that means you divide everything by 2. But now you're creating fractions when you don't have to. So the best practice and the most efficient way to go about solving is to move the 1 first. So we will subtract 1 from both sides. That will cancel out on the left, leaving with just 2x. On the right, we have 17 minus 1, which is 6. And then so 2x equal to 16, divide both sides by 2, and x is equal to 8. Any questions before we go to the next one? All right, so next one we have 3a minus 6 equal to a plus 4. Now your goal should be now to get all of your terms with the variable on one side, all of your terms without variable to the other side. Also here, I was reminding you that, oh, I need my pen back. I was reminding you that, there's a 1 in front of the a. So I need to get all of my terms with a to one side, all of my terms without a to the other. So you subtract a from both sides. A minus a cancels. And then we have 3a minus a, which would be 2a. That leaves you with 2a minus 6 equal to 4. Now I need to take the 6 to the other side. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides so they can cancel. We had a minus 6, so you add 6. And that'll leave me with 2a equal to 10. And then from there, divide both sides by 2 to get the 2 off of a, and a will be equal to 5. Any questions? Any questions? All right. So next one, we have 17 minus 7x plus 3 equal to 3x plus 21 minus 3x. So what I would do is to simplify as much as possible on both sides of our equation first before I start to take stuff across the equal sign. So what I mean by that is that we have like terms on both sides of our equation. I'm going to erase this, make sure you see it. So on the left side of my equation, the purple box, I have a 17 and 3 that I can add together to give me 20. That minus 7x is still there. And then on the right side, negative 3x and negative 3x will give you negative 6x. And that plus 21 is still there. All right. Any problems? Any problems? All right. So now your goal should be just like before to get one variable. Get your terms with the variable on one side of the equation, get the terms without the variable to the other side. Doesn't matter which one you decide to move. You have four different variables, I mean, four different terms. You can move the 20, you can move the 7, you can move the 6x, you can move the 21. It doesn't matter which one you decide to move first. If you do everything correctly, you'll still get the same answer. So I decided to add 6x to both sides. 6x and negative 6x cancel on the right. Then on the left, we have negative 1x. So we have 20 minus x equal to 21. All right. Now I need to take the 20 to the other side of the equation. So I subtract 20 from both sides. And that leaves me with negative x equal to 1. And so you just got to be careful, make sure you don't lose negative signs, lose minus signs, because they are important. So that was 20 minus x. When I move the 20 to the other side, that x stays negative. And then 21 minus 20 is equal to 1. And now I need to take the negative over to the other side. And that'll be x equal to negative 1. Mm-hmm. Any problems? Any problems? Mm-hmm. Can we go to the next one? Everybody good? All right, so here we have 7 times x minus 2 equal to 9x minus 6. So we distribute first. So 7 times x, 7 times 2. So it'd be 7x minus 14 equal to 9x minus 6. And now we're in that situation again where we have multiple variables. So we want to get all of our terms with the variable to one side, all of our terms without the variable to the other side. Once again, it doesn't matter whether you move the 7x first or move the 9x first. It's up to you. As long as you do it correctly, you'll still get the same answer. I decided to move my 14. So I added 14 to both sides. And that gives me 7x equal to 9x plus 8. Now I need to get the 9x to the other side of the equation by subtracting 9x. That gives me negative 2x equal to 8. And divide both sides by negative 2. X is equal to negative 4. Any problems? Any problems? All right. Everybody good with that last one? So now 4.8 is solving equations with fractions. Yep, solving equations containing fractions. So let me see how many did I do here. Yeah, we can, since that's in the same flow, yeah, let's go ahead and knock that out and then go from there. So everybody doing this last problem? Okay. So 4.8, once again, is solving equation with fractions. So the first one, we have x minus 3/4 equal to 1/20. And so same thought process that we would have, let's say if I didn't have these fractions here. Let's say if it was x minus 3 equal to 1, I would add 3 to both sides. So the same thought process, just that we have fractions. So we're going to add 3/4 to both sides. 3/4 cancel on the left, leaving you with just x. And then on the right, notice I put the note here. Whenever adding and subtracting fractions, you must have a common denominator. So we'll go through that common denominator process. Just want to give everybody a chance to write before I scroll up. All right, so scrolling up some. So we need to find an LCD. Now the LCD is the smallest number that each denominator can divide into evenly. So notice our denominators, 20 and 4. So you say, what's the smallest number that both 20 and 4 can divide into evenly? And it's going to be 20 because 20 can divide into itself. And then of course 4 can divide into 20. So there we go. So LCD is 20. So now the first fraction, 1/20, we don't have to do anything to that because you already have 20 as the denominator. So then you have to ask yourself, what times 4 will give you 20? And it's 5. And so that's what we did right here. Multiply both top and bottom by that 5 to give us 15/20. And now that we have common denominators with both, we can add the numerators, and that's 16/20. All right. So before we finish off the problem, is everybody okay with how we got 16/20? All right. Now, we talked about it already. Whenever you have a fraction, you do have to make sure that it's reduced down to the smallest fraction possible. And if it is able to be reduced, you are expected to do that. So we have 16/20. 16 is 4 times 4. 20 is 4 times 5. So we'd have 4 in common with the top and bottom. Cancel out those 4s, and that'll be 4/5 as your final answer. All right. Any problems? Any problems? All right. So here we have 3/5 A equal to 9. So it's 3/5 times A equal to 9. So whenever you have this type of scenario, you're going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. You see right here, reciprocal just means that you're going to flip the fraction. So we had 3/5, so we multiply both sides by 5/3. And so the reason why we do that is right here. So notice that 5 over 5 will cancel, 3 over 3 will cancel, and that'll be just A. And so let me walk through what's going on here. So you can do this one of two ways. We're talking about reducing this other side right here. You can take 3 into 9. That'll leave you with 1 here and 3 here, and then multiply across. So then it's 3 times 5, which is 15. On bottom, 1 times 1 is 1, and that's just 15. Or you can just multiply across. So 9 times 5 is 45. 3 times 1 is 3. Then 45 divided by 3 is 15. Either way, you're going to get 15. So it's up to you how you want to handle it. Either you can reduce first, then multiply, or multiply and then reduce. Either way, your answer should be 15. But the main thing that we had to do in order to get there was to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. All right. Any questions? Any questions? All right. Now we have multiple fractions. We can do what we call clear out the fractions in order to be able to solve the equation. Got some steps for you in order to be able to do that. So we have x over 6 plus 1 equal to 4 over 3. And we want to clear out the fractions. First step is to find the LCD. So you look at all of your denominators and find the LCD of the whole problem. So we have 6 and 3 as denominators. That means the LCD will be 6 for us. Smallest number that both 6 and 3 can divide into even. It's going to be 6. All right. Second step, once you found your LCD, you're going to multiply each numerator by the LCD. And I'll be careful here because a lot of times people will, skip over the one that doesn't have a denominator. But if you're going to do this process, whether it has a denominator or not, you have to multiply each number by whatever you found the LCD to be. All right. Now we can simplify. 6 goes into 6 and leaves you with 1. And then 3 divides into 6 and leaves you with 2. So 1 times x is just 1x. 6 times 1 is 6. And then 2 times 4 is 8. So now we have a simpler problem with no fractions. So x plus 6 equal to 8. Any questions? Any problems?
Hey, do you mind scooting it up for 1 second? Where I can see too.
Yep, not a problem. Let me know how far to go up.
Good.
Mhm.
Thank you. Okay, I'm good. Thank you.
No problem, no problem. Everybody okay before we go ahead and solve this? So now all we have is x plus 6 equal to 8. All right. So now we just subtract 6 from both sides. X equal to 2. Problem before we go to the next one. Make sure we're okay. All right, so let's try it again. We have y over 4 equal to y over 12 plus 2 over 3. So our LCD, we have 4, 12, and 3 as denominators. So our least common denominator will be 12. Smallest number that both 4, that not both, but each of 4, 12, and 3 can divide into evenly. Second step, we're going to multiply each numerator by that 12. Notice the denominator is still the same. You're not multiplying top and bottom, we're multiplying across the equation. So each numerator is being multiplied by 12. Now we divide each denominator into those 12s. 4 goes in 12, leave you with 3. 12 goes in 12, leave you with 1. 3 goes in 12, leaves you with 4. All right, so what would be left is 3y equal to y plus 8. That's what 4 plus 2, 4 times 2, excuse me. Everybody good? Everybody straight?
Yep, good to go.
All right. So now we can go ahead and solve by subtracting y from both sides. That'll give me 2y equal to 8 and divide both sides by 2. Y is equal to 4. All right, any questions on that? We have like 2 more scenarios I want to make sure that we're okay with. But any questions on anything I've said up to this point? All right, so here we have 2 times the quantity of x plus 1 equal to 2x plus 3. Distribute 2 into the parentheses. It's 2x plus 2. I'm trying to erase. So once you do your distribution, that's 2x plus 2 equal to 2x plus 3. Now, once you're in this situation, your goal is to get all of your variables to one side of your equation, all of your terms without variables to the other side. If I can get it back, it didn't come up. There we go. So I subtracted 2x from both sides. And notice what happens is that 2x canceled on both sides of our equation. So don't be afraid to let math happen. A lot of times what people will do is they'll cancel out or subtract 2x from both sides, and then they'll end up with something like this because they didn't cancel out 2x. They just, sometimes people are afraid to let it happen, right? So 2x minus 2x is going to be 0. It's going to cancel out on both sides in every case if this is a scenario. So don't do this to yourself. So be careful with that. So our variables cancels completely, and it leaves us with 2 equal to 3, which is a false statement. 2 is not equal to 3. So whenever your variables cancel and you end up with a false statement, now your answer is not false statement. That's just what happened. That's what occurred. We had a false statement. So whenever your variables cancel and you end up with a false statement, your answer is no solution. All right, any problems with that? All right. Next scenario is very similar. All right, so we have 4x plus 6 equal to 6 times the quantity of x plus 1 minus 2x. Distribute 6 into the parentheses, that's 6x plus 6 minus 2x. Now notice here, we have 6x plus 6 minus 2x. We have the like terms of 6x minus 2x, which will give you 4x. And then what happens, I have 4x plus 6, 4x plus 6. If you subtract 4x from both sides, that'll give you 6 equals 6, which is a true statement this time. I don't know why stuff was delayed, but okay. Give you a true statement this time. So your variables cancel and you end up with a true statement. Your answer will be all real numbers. All right. So the way that works is that the first one, the one previous to this, that there is no value that you can plug into the equation to make it true. And then here, no matter what value you plug in, it will end up being true. So you can plug in anything for x and it will work. All right. Questions. All right. So that's it for those two sections. I think this is a good place to start and stop for today. Remember, your goal now is to get into Math Lab. Make sure you don't have any issues with registration or anything like that. Get into these homework assignments, and the sooner you get in there, the sooner you can get finished right. Go ahead and start knocking this stuff out.
Does math cost?
Say that again.
Does Math Lab cost money?
Yes. I don't know the exact price because different classes cost different amounts.
I'll figure it out.
Okay. I'm trying to remember because one class it cost 75, but I think that was 155 because we have some books that are more condensed. And then some books. You pay 75? Okay. Okay. That's cool. Michael said he paid 75. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. So yep, 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 not a problem, not a problem. Any other questions? I know um we had one. I know you mentioned that you wanted to stay back and talk to me after class. Anybody else have any class things that you want to say before I let you guys go for today? Anybody? Okay,
I have a quick
normally,
question about the last problem we were doing, if that's all right.
yeah, sure, sure, sure. What you
So,
got? Mhm.
so when you were doing the 4x plus 6 equals 6s plus 6 minus 2x, does just because we're minusing the 4x on both sides, does the 2x just not matter anymore since it's already been taken out of the?
Right, right. Because for the 6x minus 2x is encapsulated in that 4x. So you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
No problem, no problem. Good question, good question. All right. And so this class normally goes to, well, it's scheduled for 11:20, but the way I normally handle things is I lecture for whatever time we lecture for. And then from there, I'm done. But there will always be room for you guys to ask whatever question you want to ask. If you want to bring in math lab problems that you were trying out, couldn't figure out how to do, this would be the opportunity for you to take advantage of that. But what I like to do is I call it not holding somebody hostage. You know what I mean? So if you have classmates who really, you know, are done for the day, let's say the math is fried brains and they don't want to hear anymore, at least they got the lecture out of the way. And then that way, anybody that want to stay back and ask questions, they can do that. So that's how I normally operate with the classes. And especially during summer when we have this large block of time, I go ahead and do the lecture, go ahead and knock that out. And then anybody that want to stay back and stay back. Anybody that want to go ahead and leave, they can do so. So with that being said, this is that time. So just want to check in, make sure we're good. I know I have one person I need to stay back for. Any other questions before we close out lecture for today? Everybody good? All right. So look out for those 2 emails. I'm going to send you another email just to reemphasize what we mentioned about the testing. Just really because we don't have a final exam in this class. Like I said, they changed that structure. It's just that we need to make sure that every test, sorry, and the alarm still set, any test that we take has to be scored 75% or better. That's the goal, that's the mark. And then our homework's at 75% or better as well. And then I'm gonna see, since there's only 5 or 6 of us in the class, see if anybody, you see how we're gonna be doing a lecture. See if anybody has to come into class. If not, everybody can save on gas. If not, I will most definitely come to class every day for those who need it. But for those who want to stay home, you still have the Zoom option. I will just be in the class, connected my computer to the screen. Everybody will still have the same experience. All right. So you guys have a good one. Be safe. I'll see you next class, and I'll stay back for the one that was asking of me.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right, you guys take care. All right. So what you got for? Well, hold on. Let me stop the Zoom because it wasn't a class question, right?
Well, it was just me letting you know that I'm at the Virginia Beach campus.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure I'm very much an in-person student. I look like school's hard for me, so in-person is definitely what I need. But I'm on this roadmap trying to get finished with everything by next May 2023. So if I stick to this plan, I have my class schedule, and I should be finished. So I'm gonna stay put in your class
Okay.
and use office hours or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
And I'll be I'll stay in touch with you
Okay.
throughout this semester. You'll hear from me for sure.
All right. Okay. Not a problem. But so that means though, as far as in person, you said you can't make it to the Portsmouth campus, so that's not even a thing for you.
No, I'll have to
Okay.
just go to the math lab at Virginia Beach campus if I do need any help.
Okay. 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 Not a problem. Not a problem. I'll do whatever I can to help you out virtually and all the good stuff like that, and we'll
Yeah,
make it work.
I appreciate your time, and your class seems very like it's helpful. You're not here to pin us down, and I don't know. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. 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 For sure. For
Okay,
sure.
well, I'll be here next Thursday, right? Or Monday.
Wednesday, Monday, Wednesday. Yep.
Okay.
All right. You have a good one.
And what else? I just need to get into math lab and I'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you have a good day. Nice
All right,
meeting
thanks.
you.
Nice meeting you as well. Take care.
You too.
Mm.